Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track by an act named Faye Jule titled I Cried All Night. And if we switch over to here, we have it on SoundCloud. Faye Jule are back in 2022 with a brand new lineup, an incredible single titled I Cried All Night. Apparently there are 4 members in this band. We've got Chris Bates from Auckland, New Zealand, a fellow Kiwi, that's kind of cool. Lahorn, London from Oxtest, Stefan Landauer, based in Berlin, and producer Kara Greskovic from Nashville, Tennessee, have come together to produce a track of exquisite beauty and a kaleidoscope of textures and sounds. I know Kara Greskovic. So if you're watching this, Kara, sup? Got like dream pop, long forgotten emotions. The song is underpinned by a sumptuous piano, a laconic accordion, and a deeply emotional sound of the erhu, a Chinese 2-stringed bowed musical instrument. Cool. Seems like these guys know what they're doing. They've got a track out on the 13th of May 2022. So we're going to listen through this track from start till finish. You're going to hear what you think. Let's go. Put the album out here.
Till our song started playing, I cried all night, thinking back on those good days.
I like it so far. The vocals are very present in the mix. The piano line is constant and it's gorgeous, and I enjoy the consistency of it. There's like a low to mid resonance in the bass and the vocals that I think helps the vocals stand out and keep their presence strong, but I'm hoping that it contrasts with other elements of the mix. Nice natural vibrato there. The vocal technique from both singers at this point in time is very good. Nice harmony here. Cool. Nice work with the vocal processing there, that modulation there with that filter work, and I assume there's some automation involved in there as well.
Keep running through my mind all the time. I'll get drunk and think of the times that we danced until the sunrise. Dream of you laying by me tonight. Wish we stayed this way for all of our lives.
It's nice to have them come together at the end and to have this little vocalish kind of riser here. It could be a synth, I'm not sure.
Send my mind to a place where we were in love the same way. Up all night thinking of what I could do to make you stay.
I like the use of the erhu there as an additional sort of layer, a different texture within the mix. I'm hoping that's continued throughout, because it's going to seem a strange thing to suddenly include at this point. Cool. It continues.
These memories keep running through my mind all the time.
What chord progression have we got here? Oh, we got a 1-5-6-4 progression here. That's cool. That works for music like this.
We stay this way for all of our lives. I won't lie.
Nice different lead layer on the left side. It's cool. It's cool. Yeah, let's talk about this one. Interesting. I Cried All Night by Faye Jule. Because this is the conclusion to this review. On a first listen basis, I guess, I think this, I mean, we're kind of cheating, aren't we? Because we've already been given the story. A male-female duet evoking long forgotten emotions. The song is underpinned by the piano, like accordion and most erhu. Yeah, when I listen to this, especially with the sparkly, more misty sort of elements of the mix, I can hear people dreaming about them, but about others, maybe that they have that connection to, that deeper one. Maybe they don't have that same sort of bond that they used to have, or maybe they are removed. And there's this, like, they're dreaming of being with this person and they don't have control over the dream and they wish they could be that way, but then they wake up and it's all, like, obviously not reality, and the intensity of those emotions cause them to become upset, whether with joy or with sadness or whatever. I think that this is a song that a lot of people will be able to relate to. The story itself is an interesting one. I'm glad that we went for an angle like this. You know, I've done a lot of reviews at this point, and I haven't really heard anything from this particular perspective of the, you know, the male-female sort of relationship kind of, you know, that kind of stuff before. So it's cool. It's a cool take on it. I liked the vocal melodies that we had here. I liked how we took turns between Chris and Lahorn. I think that they had great chemistry with each other. Tonally and texturally, they were compatible. They stacked on top of each other really well in regards to the harmonies. That's part of the benefit of having a lady and male vocalist. Typically, the lady vocalist is going to have a higher range than the male, so you can stack them on top, and it's easier to do so rather than, you know, two male vocalists or two female vocalists, you know. I also have to sort of show respect for the fact that these people have been working globally or internationally. You know, we've got people in New Zealand, Berlin, and Nashville and Austin involved in this, like 3 different countries, you know, if my maths is correct: Germany, New Zealand, and the United States. The vocal quality, the quality of the performance, did not needed to be coached by the producers or the engineers or the other band members involved for them to work so well together to create a seamless vocal performance that's both not only technically competent but also authentic and emotionally believable. I think is very good. I'm very happy with that, and I just, it's testament to the technology that we have nowadays that allows us to be able to do that. The vocal team was great. They both sounded comfortable within their range, and again, they both sounded like they had personally gone through the experience that they were singing about. It didn't seem, there was nothing half-assed about it, to be blunt. Additionally, you know, we had the structuring of the track where, you know, you had a traditional, I think you had the piano intro, and then you had the verse chorus kind of vibe to it. With some reinforcement from various elements of the mix as we went along, you know. And we had additional elements like the erhu, the piano, the accordion, the you know, the drums and everything else. What else did we have? Just a quick nod to listen. We had little bits of pop and little bits of ambient sound just to fill in the gaps in the relevant frequency spectrums. And I don't think you really needed more than this in a 3:11 track, you know. It was almost like the two vocalists were speaking to each other as you went along and offering their own perspectives, and they came together in the end, maybe unwittingly, thematically unwittingly anyways. And you had some, you know, the traditional chord triads that you were working between in the instrumental performances there, that the vocals were harmonizing on top of whether unifying with the root notes or going alongside the triads. You never strayed too far away from those chord triads. We didn't have any 6th or 7th chords or anything sort of exotic like that, although obviously the solo section for like the erhu or later on in the track, they may have been exploring the scale a little bit, and I think that was absolutely fine. The piano lines reinforced the chord triads, and it was a fairly safe song compositionally that I don't think needed to be overcomplicated, especially not for a single when it's your first impression with new listeners. You want them to be able to absorb it. You want the story to be relatable. You want people to be able to absorb the music well, you know, like, and not be too put off by stuff, especially if you're making stuff like dream pop. Where it's meant to be, again, a dreamy type of sound to it. You know, that the main musical motif or theme was carried throughout. There wasn't a whole lot of change to that. We kept that 1-5-6-4 for the most part. I don't really think we needed to do much more than it. Would have been kind of cool if we'd maybe had an interlude section where there was like a realization or something, just a little bit extra to be like, oh, wait, it's not just a vibe for 3:11. we've also got something we've learned or something. Just to put a little bit of X factor in there. Maybe had like used one of the other chords in the key signature or something like that to start it and kind of spiced it up. But that's okay. This is really good. Again, a lot of music, especially released nowadays, relies on that main 4 chord progression to get by, and you just stack and change the layers, and that's good enough. Production, the recording, mixing, mastering. I liked it. I think it was really well done. I think that the sound of the various components of the mix, the way they were recorded, for the most part, sounds great. You know, like, again, I could hear a little bit of a bass resonance in the guy's voice, but that could be something that was kept in the mix just because it contrasted well with the lady singer. I think that I totally respect that. Again, you also don't really want to sterilize a mix too much, or else it sounds inorganic, and especially when you're trying to evoke strong emotions, if you make it sound like, if you put something out that's sort of a little bit too synthetic, people won't really buy it. I'm not sure how they recorded the different instrumentalists, whether there were samples used or whether there were like actual proper like recordings done. I don't mind, by the way. I'm not going to be an elitist prick about it. It's just either way, the instrument sounded great. I would have liked more of a dynamic range to this. I think that a lot of the time the perceived loudness was similar. I think it was just because you had a lot going on most of the time. It might have been good to occasionally have had some space in the composition to allow the words to sit or something like that. And I know that like this is a very loud track in terms of the mastering, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. There's still elements of the loudness war going nowadays, even though Spotify and other various streaming platforms don't actually want you to go beyond negative 14 LUFS or 14 LUFS. I know that SoundCloud's different to Spotify and the other ones, but especially like ones like Tidal and stuff. But yeah, I think it's totally fine. Don't get me wrong. It's not a criticism. I just feel like that there are little things like just allowing for less compression and limiting in the mastering chain. You could have reduced the LOFS by a little bit more just for it to just be breathe a little bit more easily. But again, the EQing, stereo panning, the various effects chains on the instruments. And again, there was lovely automation. There's a clear understanding from the studio side of things of how to produce a track and do it really well. There were just little things I heard that could potentially improve it. But again, like, from what I understand of the people involved in this record, they know what they're doing. They're clearly passionate about the music they're providing to people, and I wish them the best of luck in future. But that's I Cried All Night by Faye Jule. Hopefully you enjoy it. This is effectively my review of the song. If you enjoyed it, well, this song isn't out yet, but I assume it's going to be all on the various digital streaming platforms, including Spotify, and all that, as of the 30th of May. So it'll be out on the 30th of May. It is not the 30th of May when I'm recording this, but by the time you see this, it'll be after the 30th of May, so go check that out. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on. Now I'll catch you in the next review. Spiderhands Out.